Hello, everybody. So as I said, there's a goodbye to 2018. We are going to do some caning because I know everybody likes that. Let me just make sure that I have the camera settings out. So in case I need to refocus or something, I don't have to look for it. Okay, so I had to ponder if I should do the Skinner blends off camera before the live or to do them on the live. And as usual, I decided to do it on the live just for you to see what exactly I'm doing. Hi, Dawn. As usual, I'm super busy. I'm trying to put out the last tutorials of the year for my sponsors. And I'm almost there. Unfortunately, yesterday I lost almost all day because I had one of those fatigue days. I have no idea why. Hi, Joe. Hi, JC. So I chose these colors, and we are going to do, of course, some Skinner blends, and we are also going to do some. Hi, Planet Fimo. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Cindy. I'm also going to let me put this out, because I did some uploading. Hi, June. Bonsoir, Marijuana. Hi, Catherine. So, as usual, I will, excuse me, I will have my, I said hi, June. I will have my square cutter so I can cut proper quantities out of everything. And in this cane, what I want to do, hi Shelly, what I want to do is to create areas of Skinner blend, but I will also have an area of striping and an area of iCat. Hi Deb. So, hi Jackie, what I have here is white, and then cadmium yellow, cadmium red, ultramarine, alizarin crimson, and black. So the way that I see it, I'm going to have a central area where there will be some red with iCat. And then I will have some lines with black and white to get everything, better looking, kind of like underline. And then I will have some Skinner blend involving blue. And then I will have some stripy stuff. Hi, Pauline. So, number one, let's first start with making a stripy thing. And in order to do that, I know that I've shown you how to get a very, very easy one. But I'm going to go on a more, more standardized way. And there is in the playlist that I have on my channel, there is a playlist that's for canes for beginners, basic canes. And that's where you can find how to do pretty much all the techniques that I'm going to show here. And I'm trying to find room for everything here. So essentially I have some white that I went through the machine with it on the thickest setting. Hi, Lostine, I don't know how it's pronounced. Hi, Shira. Hi, Christy. And then I'm going to place the white on top of the black. That's also on the thickest setting. And make sure that it's nice and pretty much straight. And see, you might get this, but it's easy to just brush it off pretty much. And now, as a piece of advice, there was some, this is all Premo, there was some white Premo in end of summer, beginning of fall, in the white 1 pound, but I understood that in other sizes as well. Hi, Carol. Hi, Christy. That was too stretchy and soft to work canes with. So I waited for a while on doing canes, but now Trish at PolyClay Play has the white clay that works great, and I got it in the 8 ounces packages. So you saw I put the white on the black, and they are both on the thickest setting. And then I'm going to start cutting it in half. So I have 11 centimeters, so that would be 5.5 centimeters and a half. And you need to be very careful when you move them, because any attempt to pull will stretch them. And then gently, I recommend that you use the acrylic block, because with the roller you might press more in some spots. Hi Tina, hi Sonia. And then I'm going to cut it again. So 5.5, going to be 2 3/4. And at this point, I think I am good. That's something. And generally speaking, whenever you cut striped cane, hi Sandy, you always cut in the length of the stripes. Do not cut like this, because you might drag, and then your lines will not be that beautiful and perfect. Right now I'm just adjusting the edges. So I am done with this. Next, I'm going to start doing the, hi Lena, hi Sandy. I'm going to start doing the, first the eye cat. And I'm going to use 1 square of yellow and pretty much half a square of red. Sorry, I forgot to get a paper towel. Okay, so this will be, because I need an eye cat, I'm not going to do like this. I'm not going to do like this. I am going to just slightly superimpose them. Just a little bit. See, this is how much. And then I'm going to get them through the pasta machine on a much thinner setting. And as usual, the red is staining. And surprise, surprise, I'm going to fan them. Thank you. I'm trying just because I know that I have a lot of subscribers who are not primary English speakers. Why do I do this? Because I want to keep this area of the iCat very small and delicate. So now that I did this, I'm going to come and I'm going to gently press. And because I want to have a little bit of a gradient, but not an exceptional amount of gradient on this. Oh, you mean this? This is a pastry fondant glass thing that's white. And I know I was asked, how do you do so it wouldn't get scratched? It does get scratched. Everything would get scratched. But you're using blades. But it's fine. It's not like it's going to show. Okay, now you see that I have these areas that are kind of messed up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it in half. And make sure that my red aligns well. So the whole idea is that I wanted to make a little bit like a flower. No, it's not a dry erase. It's got little feet. I probably can use a dry erase board for a working space without problems, because it's glass after all. And they are definitely cheaper than pastry boards. I got this as a present. I didn't buy it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you where to get one. Okay, so you see I have a very uneven, but that's going to help me a lot when I'm doing the iCat. So let me go with it through the pasta machine 5 times on a fairly thin setting. Okay, now you see that I have a lot of ragged edges. Hi, Zenta. And I'm sorry if I talk a little bit weird. I think I'm getting a tooth abscess or something. So every time I touch my tooth with my tongue, it hurts. So I'm talking a little funny. So I'm going to plug it. No, it's a lot of steps, but for what I want to achieve, they are all necessary. Touch of red here. And that will allow me to bring in these ends, because you'll always get ragged ends, especially if you had your clay sitting there for a while. And I want to get it a little bit even more thin. I mean, less wide, not thin as a... So, and now I can start flattening it this way. Do you remember my tutorial with the rainbow feather? Yeah, Plethora by Zenta is the name of her online store. Her name is Zenta. Okay, and then thin it out. You see that I have a whole mess right now, but I promise you it's going to look pretty. And remember, generally speaking, whenever you start a cane, unless it's a specific flower cane or something, you always work on the initial triangle. Now, let me get this again through the pasta machine on a thin setting. And now I'm going to start building the center of the cane. So first I'm going to remove this part that's not very good. And watch this. So I'm going to go, I'll start about here. So I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch. Then with the next one, I put it straight up at the very end of this other one. And I'm going to bring it over and cut it. Yeah, duh, and I'm starting the wrong way. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, so I need to start this way. It happens to everybody. So I'm going like this. Okay. And then the next one, I'm starting it standing straight. No, I'm still doing it the same way. I'm sorry, I got all my kitties and stuff messing up with me here. So I need another piece the same and putting it up on top. So that's the idea. You start like this. And that will make your whole iCat move. So again, I'm going to start. You can actually, if you're not very sure how to do this, you can do this and then bring it over. And you can start either with the red or with the yellow, but I decided to start with the yellow. Um, you know, the easiest way is to upload it on YouTube unlisted and then message me the link. That's the best way to do it. Unless you cannot, because I know that you get the privilege of unlisted after so much stuff, or you can, if you have a Google Drive, you can upload it there and send me the link. See how my whole thing moves, because I am doing this flattened on the, that's why I said, if you remember my tutorial on the rainbow feather. Hey, I messed up here. Put them one on top of the other and they got stuck. Oh well. Gonna still work. Let's use this one too. So this will be part one of my center cane. And see, it has formed an iCat. I think it's named an iCat, not an iCat. I don't know. So we have this now. And then let's do pretty much the same thing with some white and blue. But this time I'm going to go faster because I already showed you. And the only thing is that I'm going to get a little bit less blue and I'm going to bring it more inside the white. So I am going to place but see, I'm not putting it all on top of the blue. I have it like this. And I guess I'm going to go directly on doing a fan fold. Now, as a little tip, whenever you're trying to do a gradient, if you want to hurry things up, the best thing is not so much to do. I just folded it to have it thinner, not so wide. The best thing is not to fan fold it. The best thing is to roll it, because when you roll it, you'll have so many layers superimposing to each other that you will get much faster the gradient itself. And that allows you also to keep your thing fairly narrow. Okay, let me get it through the pasta machine a few times. And I have this again. And I'll do exactly like I did for the other one. Bonjour, Anxunamon. Comment ça va? And again, look, some yellow. And again, I'm going to press the ends in. So this is an organic, pretty much, cane, not so much a geometric cane. So don't stress out too much if you have these kind of little points and stuff like that. Yeah, I should have conditioned my blue a little bit longer because the blue is definitely colder than the white. Comme ci, comme ça, cinnamon. Comme d'habitude. Now I can go ahead and do it. The machine, but before doing that, I am going to get a piece of yellow through the thin. And I know I didn't need this much, but it's okay. All right, now for the next, I'm going to first place some yellow here just to enhance the whole. Make sure that my yellow is all nice and stuck there with no air bubbles. So now I'm going to start placing the blue and white over it. I'm going to start. Let me put the white first, because I want to start here, but then I want to extend my blue towards the other end where it's normally lighter. That is awesome. Okay, so I'm starting here and going this way. You're gonna start a channel, huh? There are so many families that have very successful channels. Huh? Okay, I'm trying not to lose what's going on in the chat. So are you ready for 2019? Hi, Sherry. I don't think he did, at least I didn't see it, but as I'm watching the chat sporadically, the other ladies should be able to tell you. Yeah, it always helps when you use the sharp end. And when you cut all the way, it also helps. Oh yeah, that's a given till you get used to it. It's like you barely get used to the date and then it changes. Okay, now let's get some stripy stuff put on. Not really a psychedelic thing, but it's not fun. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. If you hear a scream, that means Beetlejuice just came. Pretty, huh? Now, let's go on harder. And let's do a yellow and Alizarin Crimson Skinner blend. A 1-on-1. Remember my little boxed way of doing stuff? And then I'll probably use some, I might have to use more yellow for what I have in mind, but I'll probably use my V thing. I'll be right back. Yes, definitely more yellow. Because I want a very refined and long gradient. A refined gradient is when you have the color very gradually changing. Okay, and when I was talking about my default, this is something that I do to elongate the gradient to make it more defined. And that is, let me actually move this. And that is, I fold in a V like this. And it goes like this first in the pasta machine and then normal. Thinner. Now I want even more definition. So again, default. And because it got so wide, now I'm gonna have to fold it, narrow it down. And back on the thickest setting. And I have to flatten it. And I'm not gonna move the camera again. I always love gradients done with yellow and Alizarin Crimson. And this should be good. Okay. Yes, it does. Okay. So now I'm going to plug it. It's much easier to do a plug for a prettier result than to do a fan fold. And gently, gently push in. I'm not yet to the point of pressing it with the acrylic. And when you do this, you can see which of the two clays is the more conditioned. And I already knew that the Alizarin Crimson was a little bit softer than the others. This is how it came. Nothing I could do about it. And now I'm going to triangularize it, wedge it. And you want to keep pressing it like this because when you pinch it here, yes, Anxanamon, mais c'est un canal qui est plutôt pour les parleurs d'anglais. Donc, malheureusement, si YouTube donne une facilité de traduire les discussions, c'est bon. Sinon, yeah, it's one of the prettiest blends. Now, let's do something that's really, really interesting. So I'm going to take 1.5 squares of white. And then half a square of blue. And they will go like this. And I'm going to do real quick a skinner blend with these. No, not really. You need different colors for candy corn. Just a minute. C'est pas du tout. Tu regardes. D'habitude, il y a beaucoup plus de personnes qui parlent le français. Je ne sais pas pourquoi il n'y a pas beaucoup maintenant. Probablement, les gens sont occupés avec les préparations pour le nouvel an, pour le réveillon. Almost done, and I'll show you the thing. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to take a small piece of Alizarin Crimson. And by small, I mean small. It's going to be pretty much like this, and then I'm going to cut a wedge of it that I'm going to place here. And then I'm going to take a touch of yellow, and I'm going to place it here. And you'll see what I think we are going to get. Bonsoir Nelly, non, exactement, il y avait une autre personne en Xenamun qui disait qu'elle ne comprend pas très bien l'anglais, donc elles se sent tout seules. Can you see how delicate this is? So I'm going to cut it in half. Pretty much. I just scored it. Yeah, I have there's another lady who's my subscriber who's been battling bronchitis for like 2 months now. Okay. Now let's go with it like this. And we shall do half a jelly roll. That means I'm going to do this. The idea is that you come to half and then go back. It gets a little bit easier after you create the Why didn't I do a full jelly roll? Because I don't need a full jelly roll. I only need half of it. Oh, alors, Anxenamun, ce Zenta a dit que si tu fais une clic droit sur ce que la personne a écrit, tu peux choisir de l'avoir traduit. Je ne sais pas si ça c'est valable pour des téléphones et pour des tablettes aussi. So I don't know if that Zenta said that if you right click on what somebody wrote, then you can choose to translate. And I said, I don't know if that works on phones. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm pinching. And why I didn't do a full jelly roll? Because I don't want that. See how I want it to be like this, like a teardrop shape. If I would have done it full, then I would have had too much of the blue here. Now, let's cut a few more slices of the striped thing. Okay, I hope I cut properly. And let's start. I'm manipulating this so I can place it here. I want this black to be on the white of the other one. should be okay. And now I can create my triangle. It's too wide. C'est seulement une canne. And yeah, that's why I wanted to make it nice and colored and pretty. It's not going to be as perfect as if it would be if it was made with Fimo or Keto, but it's gonna still be pretty. Sometimes, not so much. I would do a lot of stuff, but I can't, honestly. Considering how bad I've been with my fatigue lately, I am thankful that I can do as much as I can do. Yeah, that's why I said that I don't know if that works on tablets and phones. Okay, let's try and make the smaller triangle. The next triangle and the smaller triangle. And because of all these colors, these will make absolutely fabulous swirly beads. Pretty much 2 inches. Make sure I cut it properly. Okay, yeah, I do want it be a square after all, not a triangle. I think it would look prettier as a square, not as a triangle. So let's gently squarify it. Initially, I thought I was going to make a triangle, but I think it's prettier as a square. Hi, Tia Lisa. How are you doing? Bonjour, Dominique. Somebody here was complaining about bronchitis too. How are you doing? Okay, I do have a little bit of a... Yes, now be able to use the square pairs. No, it's just a vision in my head. I do design on paper sometimes, but most of the time it's just in my head. And most of the time I don't design on paper, I design on the computer. It's much easier to change if there's something that I don't like or what I originally draw. So maybe one of these days I'll post a... I did post at one point a speed drawing. It's in the Constantino style, a jewelry set with the combination of gold and silver and the full lapis. Okay, let me bring the square pairs. Not in the drawer. Yeah, I don't think we are there yet. Just a little bit more. Just a bit more. Yes, dragon's eye is very pretty. Oh, I am so sorry, Edna. But you are right, creating is always... Oh, thank you. I'm trying to get everybody to get to this point because, you know, nobody was born knowing things. And if you look around, there are some people who only started working with clay a few years ago, and they already made a name for themselves. Even if by other people's standards, they would still be considered beginners. It's not necessarily about the time you've spent, it's about how you've spent it. And as I said before, why I love working with the square pairs is because they move all the clay equally. You don't have the edges more moving faster than the center or anything. So it pretty much moves everything at the same time. And as we are talking about an organic one, we don't have to worry too much about lines and stuff. Oh, merci. Ça a été quelque dégradé. Yeah, I'm still working on 3D illusion canes. As I said, the idea was to get an Amazon movie done with it, but I'm not sure right now how I'm going to go on with this. Yeah, you know, I have a tutorial out for tiger's eye of all colors. And just taking the opportunity to remind you all that until tomorrow at midnight, there's still a sale going on, and all the tutorials are 20% off. And that is including the tiger's eye. And there are actually even packages with the Peter's site and Maramamba and the tiger's eye together. Okay, let's start working on this. About 4.5. Go a little bit longer. Okay, let me try and get it to 5. Because it's easier to cut. Kill bracelet. Oh, I'm rushing it a little bit too for purposes of the live. Yeah, the square pairs are absolutely the best thing. I wish there was something to reduce brown canes too, but for the square ones, they are the best thing ever. Okay, you know, mess up the cutting. It's always a little hard to cut on camera because you cannot look from above. Okay. Now, do I want to go like this? No, I think I want to go like this. Why cover your hand tattoos? I think people will have something against them. I was actually thinking of doing a henna tattoo sometime after the new year. On camera, of course. It's been a long time since I did that, but I have a whole bunch of henna still in my freezer. And I need to clean my freezer, so I decided I'm going to get rid of it. But before that, I'm going to use it for one last time. I used to do henna tattooing too. No, and by the way, I did do a new section on the Amazon influencer store with felting supplies. Absolutely. There's nothing about tattoos. No, generally, to be very honest, we think that people care more about how we look like than they actually do. And just because you have a few people who have no life and think that they have to give their opinion about how others should or shouldn't live their lives doesn't mean that you have to live your life for someone else. It's your life. Live it for yourself. Okay, so let me straighten this up. There we go. This will make beautiful pendants. And because I was asked at one point, let me show you on a piece of this, about the whole changing the shape of a cane is, can you change a full red radial into a round? Yes, absolutely. Only that from time to time we'll have to flatten it because the corners will have the tendency to get wider. Yeah, you will not believe what people can get offended about these days. So as you can see, you can make a round cane out of a square cane without any problems. And make, and if you make beads out of these, of course they need to be smaller. You see that you also have the nice, actually, let me show you how you can create a pretty, I'm gonna make two, let me make it a little bit smaller. A pretty textured bead with something like this. Thank you, Dawn. Merci, Nelly. No, YouTube doesn't censor the tats unless they are actually offensive, with nudity or ethnic or racial slurs, and even so, they will not censor the tats. There are a lot of ethnicities that have taxes. Yeah, usually I'm comfortable with anything that's a quarter of an inch thick. Under that, it gets a little bit more. If I remember that last year I did a challenge to reduce something that was less than a quarter of an inch thick. Okay, let's try and cut this in half now. This is where I mess up. If I cannot look from above, this is where I mess up. Okay, now The best thing here is to have them already on a, oh, where is, oh, I lost my piercer. Where's my piercer? Where's my needle? I lost everything. What in the world? Just a second, let me bring my bead needles. Okie dokie. Now, first I'm going to put them on a wiry thing. Connor. Yeah, Connor spent a lot of time in my chair, so as a result, I'm finding a lot of Connor hairs all over the place. Sorry, I need to take it off the camera because I need to bring it close to my eyes. Okay, now one thing that we can do to give them more dimension is, first of all, make sure that they are nice and round. And there you go, one. And let's see, I said I was going to show you how pretty these would look when doing in swirly beads. And just a minute, because I need to go take my pill. I'm starting to hurt. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for that. But I said, well, I always recommend when you choose the colors to use the color wheel. If you remember, I did the uh, color theory a little bit at the beginning of one of the Mokumegane series. What people read. Okay, I'm missing something. What am I missing? Hi, Judy. I'm trying to catch up with the chat because I'm completely lost. Yeah, that was a B. Thanks, Cinnamon. Okay, somebody explain to me the P parade thing. Okay, so if you hear some snoring, that's whisper. No, I only took a pill. If I need to, I'll tell you, no worries. But I only have to take my pill. Actually, if you notice, I've been going on for an hour and a half. So that's really good. Okay, now let's first roll it. Make sure that you roll it so there are no folding lines. And then let's see how my hands are doing today, because last time I tried, they didn't want to. Where do I want to have the, I want here and here. So I'm always traveling to the left for some reason. I don't know why. Even if I'm going to show you a secret, the way that I prefer to do this. Okay, better. So the way that I prefer to do these, because I find them much easier to do it this way. I just, so we go back to the regular bead. So I just choose where I want my thing. So I'm going to first gently make it more cylindrical, and then I pinch the ends. Remember what I showed, how I showed you to do the peppermint candy cane with the bracelet. So I twirl it like this. I twirl it like this. And then a little bit more twirling. And then I simply flatten it. And only then I do a little bit of but generally speaking, yeah, I prefer to do it like this. And then also I like them to be a little bit wider on the edge, because it's much easier to. But yeah, these would make beautiful, beautiful beads. And the other thing that they make great, all the reminders and stuff. You know what, right? Let me get all the bits and pieces. And you always have to use the sharp edge, not the... Of course, you can do pretty stropel cane with these two. Yep, Natasha beads. I usually don't like to twist them too much because you don't get, they get too thin and they don't come up that pretty anymore. But always I like for Natasha bead to use very contrasting colors because otherwise... Okay, let's make 2 of them. Or a pair of earrings. Hi, Colleen. Well, I'm still up and probably I'll still be able to be for a little bit. I'm not in too much pain, so I'm happy about that. Even if it's getting ready to rain. Okay. Yeah, let's go for 3 inches total. Okay, cutting around this one. Okay. Okay, Natasha's. So if you remember the video I put up, so see if I would have twisted them more, it would have been too much going on and too thin. Now, did I do that too fast? I need to redo it with the other one slower. And see, the square pairs are great to get rid of the cut lines in a Natasha. Yeah, the stripies always make it look good. Okay, so once again, cut in the middle, open, cut each half in the middle, don't cut your fingernail, open each half, put together each half. And now get the halves back to back, and the sides will match. There we go. And yes, there's another thing that you can do with the Natasha beads. If I never talked about it, you can actually make them cylindrical after you get rid of all of this. Well, yeah, that's a good idea too. That's an awesome idea. But yeah, see how they came up. Let me see my screen actually. They look almost like Native American totems. Oh. Okay. Now let's talk real quick about covering a cabochon. Let me grab a mold. I really need to clean this mold. I worked on something on it and it got dirty. By the way, I've added a whole bunch of stuff in the Amazon Influencer Store. Look in the applicators and organizers. And as I said, I added a felting section too. But I found a whole bunch of cosmetics organizers at really good price that work beautiful to put your stuff, including the mica powders and um, alcohol inks and stuff. I told you I use the lipstick organizers and nail polish organizers for by QI for whatchamacallit, for the alcohol inks and some of the mica powders and such. Okay, now let me try and cut again properly. Of course, here you might want to have two different sizes because this will definitely be okay to here, and you have two choices. You can either put a stripe or you can make this in actually in a solid color that would match. The prettiest one to use would be the black, obviously. Let me actually do a black thing here. Yeah, I need more. Oh, let's cut a slice. You want to burnish it in really good. And once again, the wax paper will show you where it's not well sticking to all the clay. It's nicely burnished. And of course, you can place it on the cabochon after it's baked. Yeah, it's kind of hard to watch tutorials on a phone, honestly. And yeah, definitely the best thing is to put it on a cabochon after you bake the cabochon, but I don't have time here to wait for the cabochon to bake, so I'm just going to do it like this. Here you go. You can make a lot of beads like this. You can actually make two cabochons and put them together back to back. Or so I hope I showed you some new stuff today, and I hope you enjoyed it. At this point, I really need to go lay down because I've been up for almost 2 hours. So enjoy the rest of the Sunday and the rest of the year. I will post tomorrow one of those, the year in retrospective. And soon I will post after the new year, I will post the mermaid tail pendant tutorial as well. So thank you for being my subscribers throughout the year and for being with me during the clay with me. And happy claying and happy new year. I'll see you next year. Goodbye.